Welcome back, Westchester. It is Friday, August 30th, 2024, and I'm Bonita with the Westchester Chronicle. Last Saturday the 24th, I had the pleasure of attending the 3rd annual Look Around Music and Arts Festival, which started at noon and went on until 2 in the morning. Many local bands, artists, creators, and performers came together at the Moose Lodge number 908 on Saturday for a day of festivities. The event was created by Nikki DeGiorgio and Rob Perna and continues to be a fantastic resource for creators in the area to meet, learn, and grow. We can't wait to stop by next year and do it all over again. We at the Westchester Chronicle want to express our congratulations to all the Westchester students for making it through the first week of classes. Are you looking to de-stress from a long week of getting to know your new classmates and teachers? Why not just stop by Gay Street this weekend and enjoy some of the restaurants in town? You can hang out with friends at the Gay Street Plaza, or if you're looking for something a little quieter, you can relax at our local library at 415 North Church Street. The Gay Street Open Air Market is in its last month and will be ending on September 29th. So come on down and enjoy the open air market one last time for the year and support our borough. Remember, money spent in the borough, especially Rambucks, stays in the borough. So come on down and support the town this school year. On Wednesday the 28th, the Chester County Department of Drug and Alcohol Services hosted their annual Night of Light, an evening of remembrance and hope on the steps of our historic courthouse in the center of town. The ceremony is held in remembrance of the lives lost to substance use disorders and bringing hope to those working towards long-term recovery. It also featured several organizations with resources for people struggling with addiction. Our Editor-in-Chief Kyle Hudson and myself sat down with Laura Wichecki and Kathy Collier from the Department of Drug and Alcohol Services to discuss the event and their mission.
Largely speaking, our role is figuring out what are the needs of the people and who can serve those needs, and then how we make people aware that those services exist so that we can fund them. And in our roles, we're in the prevention side, which means we are largely about education, awareness, skill building, hoping that people don't end up needing to know about the treatment side of the services we support.
So tonight's event was Night of Light. It is an annual event that the Chester County Department of Drug and Alcohol Services hosts in honor of International Overdose Awareness Day. International Overdose Awareness Day is actually occurring this Saturday on the 31st. However, due to the holiday weekend, we like to have it, during the weekday so that we have the most number of attendance. So tonight's event, we had several keynote speakers. We had 2 of the commissioners come out to speak and address the issues. We had someone in recovery talk about what their experiences look like, and then we also had a father talk about the death of his son due to an overdose, and it was such a moving event. We ended it by having a moment of silence to not only remember all of those lives that were lost in 2023, to remember all of the families that have been impacted and continue to be impacted, but also to send a message of hope, which is why we end on that note. In luminaries, we spell out in front of the courthouse hope with these bags that are illuminated that represent a person to everyone who's there for the event, and to remind people who are seeking recovery that recovery is possible, hope is there, and to those families that have been impacted that there is a tomorrow, that there is hope for our greater community of Chester County. It's pretty common that people don't necessarily know about what services are available for free to people in the county. So raising awareness about all the wonderful organizations that we partner with, what their service menu looks like, and really walking people through steps A through Z of how to access those services and what it looks like. So tonight's event was hosted at the historic courthouse in Westchester. We are so excited. We had almost 100 attendees here tonight. So with the event, we really wanted to honor the lives that have been lost in Chester County in 2023. In 2023, we did see 84 deaths throughout the county due to overdoses. And while one life lost is too many, I can't help but to highlight this is one of the lowest numbers that we've seen in previous years. For example, last year we had over 100 overdose deaths, or I should say in 2022, we saw over 100 overdose deaths. So to be in double digits is something that our department, while being solemn that it's still lives lost, it's still something to be celebrated that there is change and impact happening through, again, our many providers that are present throughout the county.
Our decisions are made on data and best practices and outcomes, but we try to never lose sight of the fact that every one of those things is somebody, some person in the Chester County community who is a brother, a boss, a coach, a sister, a friend. And that if we look at it just from terms of a disease or an act, it dehumanizes them and it loses the point, which is what we hope, what the basic goal of the Department of Drug and Alcohol Services is, to make sure that no one ever needs us again. If you are suffering yourself from a use disorder or someone in your life is suffering from a use disorder, you can reach out to our department. We have a variety of avenues to connect to our providers and to the next steps, and what the next step in the process is depends on what it is you specifically are reaching out about. It's not really a one path, this 5 steps is for everyone. Mm-hmm. Opiates are still a main substance in the deaths that we see, but alcohol, it also has an impact. And then we have polyuse, so it's sometimes hard to pinpoint the specific drug, but many people have more than one substance that they are combining. So there might be a mix of meth with alcohol with an opiate. If stigma or shame or othering is a concern, blocking a person from taking the next steps that they need in order to get help for their substance use disorder, the first thing we assure them is all of our services are confidential. Many of the services can be anonymous if you are calling to an information or referral line for help, if you are going to one of the support groups, but all of it is confidential. That is a primary foundation of the work, not just of the Department of Drug and Alcohol Services, but of the field. And the other thing we try to encourage people is to consider taking that leap of faith and sharing, because the only way to tackle stigma is to be willing to shed a light on the fact that it isn't just a few handfuls of people out on the outskirts of a community battling this, that it is neighbors and friends and colleagues and teammates, and that without the support of others, it feels lonely and isolated, but when you begin to recognize how many people in Chester County are living a life of recovery, you start to feel a community of hope rather than a sense of shame. Overdoses are primarily in opiates, just because there's a difference in how a substance takes a life between. You can die from alcohol poisoning. It's rarely referred to as an overdose. Most people who die from their alcohol use die over a period of time because of the impact it has on its body. Overdoses generally in those very short period of time impact too much coming into the system moments. So that is primarily opiates. We are starting to see some more of stimulants coming back in, cocaine, methamphetamine, those kinds of substances. But that's why we use the terms overdose and drug-related deaths, because they are different things.
It's prevalent in every community. Just because people aren't talking about it, I would say that doesn't mean it's not present. But Chester County also has a lot of support groups that are geared towards families and to loved ones. So if someone does have a loved one who they feel like is being judgmental, has stigma against substance use disorder, I would really encourage them to bring their family and bring their loved one to these family support groups so that it can help break the stigma and just, normalize it, to see how prevalent it really is in the community, that they're not alone.
You are worth the effort of recovery. It does take work, but you are worth the effort it takes, and you are worthy of the life that it will give you, and that we are Here, the Department of Drug and Alcohol Services and all of our providers and all of the different partners in our work are here to get you to that life.
If you or someone you know is struggling with substance use, you can help yourself and others by going to the Department of Drug and Alcohol's page at chesco.org. You can find the link to this and all of the vendors at the event in the description below. It was really interesting getting to know more about the Chester County Department of Drug and Alcohol Services, and we would like to cover more of our local government, highlighting services available to folks who need them. Is there anything in particular you would like us to cover? Is there a program in our community that you feel needs more attention? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll reach out to them. As always, we appreciate you tuning in. Thanks to your continued support, our team has grown, and we look forward to bringing you even more coverage. With our friends at Alliance Base, we can take our project to the next level. However, in order to keep this show ad-free, we will need your help. If you appreciate what we do, please consider becoming a supporter on Patreon, liking and sharing us on Facebook, and subscribing on YouTube. It's the easiest way to support us and help us bring you the news. And if you'd like to listen to our show via podcast, you can find us on SoundCloud. Finally, if you have a news tip, an event you'd like us to cover, or just want to say hi, you can reach us via email at westchesterchronicle@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you. Our program is produced by Crimson Planet Media, recorded at Alliance Base here in downtown Westchester, and our music is by Doug Keller. As always, we want to thank you for your time, and we hope to see you soon. Until then, I'm Bonita with the Westchester Chronicle.